Incoming transmission.
Hello, this is Matt and McKinley from History Dispatches.
We are the father-son duo bringing you the weird, the wild, the wacky, and the craziest tales from across time.
From the Ice Bowl
to the Great Heathen Army.
And the head of Oliver Cromwell.
The same head they kept on a pike for 3 years?
Yep, all here on History Dispatches.
New episodes every weekday.
Find out more at historydispatches.com or wherever you get your podcast app.
Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm your host Kyle Wood, and you're listening to Fun Facts Daily. Every Monday through Friday, I'll be bringing you fun facts, shocking stories, and everything else that's just good to know. Today, we'll be learning all about surprising discoveries and accidental inventions. Things we use all the time that weren't created on purpose. But before we get into the facts, let's get our brains warmed up with a little challenge to see if you can tell the difference between fact and fiction. Now, think about your desk or office space. Chances are you've got some of those little colorful squares of paper that stick and restick. Now consider this statement. Those handy Post-it notes we use every day were actually born from a failed experiment to create a super strong glue. A failure leading to such a useful product? Does that sound right? Well, take some time to think about it, but stick around till the end because we'll reveal the truth at the end of this episode. Now for our word of the day. Today's word of the day perfectly encapsulates our theme of the day, serendipity. Serendipity is the phenomenon of making fortunate discoveries by chance or accident. It's finding something good or useful without especially looking for it. The word has a charming origin. It was coined by the English writer Horace Walpole in a letter he wrote in 1754. He based it on the title of an old Persian tale, The Three Princes of Serendip. Serendip was an old name for Sri Lanka. The princes in this story were always making unexpected discoveries of things they weren't searching for, thanks to their wisdom and sharp observation. It's the perfect word for the accidental inventions we'll be discussing today. Now it's time for our daily high five for your brain. I'm talking about 5 fun facts about accidental inventions. First off, crinkle-cut revenge led to the creation of one of the world's favorite salty snacks, the potato chip. There are actually competing claims about the first potato chip, but the most popular origin story dates back to 1853 in Moon's Lake House in Saratoga Springs, New York. Chef George Crumb reportedly grew increasingly frustrated with a customer who kept sending back his fried potatoes, complaining they were too thick and soggy. In a fit of pique, Crumb sliced the potatoes paper thin, fried them to a crisp, and intentionally oversalted them, expecting the customer to hate them. To Crumb's surprise, the customer loved the crispy thin potatoes. They became a house specialty known as Saratoga chips. While the specifics of the story, especially the identity of that prickly customer, are debated by historians, it highlights how an unexpected deviation, even one born out of annoyance, could lead to a culinary hit. Next up, one of the most important medical breakthroughs ever, penicillin, was discovered thanks to a forgotten moldy petri dish. In 1928, the Scottish bacteriologist Dr. Alexander Fleming returned to his lab at St. Mary's Hospital in London after a vacation. He noticed that one petri dish containing Staphylococcus bacteria, which he had accidentally left uncovered near an open window, had become contaminated with blue-green mold. Intriguingly, the bacteria immediately surrounding the mold seemed to have been destroyed. Fleming identified the mold as Penicillium notatum and observed that it produced a substance lethal to many disease-causing bacteria. While Fleming recognized the potential, isolating and purifying this mold juice proved difficult. It wasn't until the late 1930s and early 1940s that a team at Oxford University, led by Howard Florey and Ernst Chain, developed methods for mass production just in time for penicillin to save countless lives during World War II, and it revolutionized medicine from that day forward. Now, number 3, believe it or not, a melted candy bar near radar equipment accidentally cooked up the idea for the microwave oven. Percy Spencer was an American engineer working for the Raytheon Corporation during World War II, focusing on magnetron tubes, high-powered vacuum tubes that generate microwaves, essential for radar systems. One day in 1945, while standing near an active magnetron test set, Spencer noticed that a candy bar, often said to be a Mr. Goodbar, in his pocket, it suddenly melted. Intrigued rather than annoyed, Spencer's curiosity took over. He experimented by aiming the magnetron tube at other foods, famously making popcorn kernels pop and rapidly cooking an egg, which exploded. Realizing the potential for cooking, Raytheon patented the invention and developed the first commercial microwave oven, the Radar Range, in 1946. It was initially huge and expensive, but the technology and the price tag eventually shrank, leading to widespread adoption of microwaves in kitchens all around the world. Number 4, before becoming a beloved kids' toy, Play-Doh was originally invented as a wallpaper cleaner. In the 1930s, Kudal Products, a Cincinnati-based soap company, created a pliable, putty-like substance at the request of Kroger grocery stores. Its purpose? To clean soot and coal dust residue from wallpaper, a common household chore before the widespread adoption of cleaner heating methods and washable vinyl wallpapers. The non-toxic dough worked effectively by lifting the grime off the paper without leaving stains. By the early 1950s, with cleaner homes and new types of wallpaper, demand for that cleaner plummeted, putting Kudal Products in jeopardy. However, Kay Zufall, a nursery school teacher related to the company's owner, discovered her students loved modeling with the compound. Seizing the opportunity, the company removed the cleaning agents, added bright colors and a distinct almond scent, and they rebranded that substance as Play-Doh in 1956. It quickly became wildly successful as a children's toy. And finally, number 5. The world's first artificial sweetener, saccharin, was discovered when a chemist forgot to wash his hands. In 1879, chemist Konstantin Fahlberg was working in the laboratory of Professor Ira Ramson at Johns Hopkins University, researching coal tar derivatives. One evening, after a long day in the lab, Fahlberg sat down for dinner and noticed that his bread roll tasted unusually sweet. He realized the sweetness must have come from a chemical he'd been working with that day. Fahlberg returned to his lab and began tasting the various compounds he had synthesized until he discovered the source: benzoic sulfide, a substance hundreds of times sweeter than sugar. He patented the compound, naming it saccharin. Despite some early controversy and health debates that continue to this day, saccharin became commercially successful, particularly during periods of sugar rationing, and it paved the way for the development of other artificial sweeteners. Now for some news you can use. Inspired by these tales of accidental genius, my tip today is simple. Cultivate a prepared mind by actively noticing anomalies and asking why. Why is an essential question. Many great accidental discoveries like Fleming's penicillin or Spencer's microwave happened because someone didn't just dismiss an unexpected result or observation. They had a prepared mind, enough background knowledge, and curiosity to recognize that something unusual had occurred. But then they took it a step further to investigate why. You can apply this to your own life or work. When something doesn't go as planned or you notice something slightly odd, resist the urge to just ignore it. Ask, why did that happen? Or what could this unexpected result mean? This mind shift encourages creativity and problem solving, potentially leading you to your own fortunate discoveries, big or small. It's about time to wrap up this episode, but I want to circle back and stick the landing on that question we posed earlier. We asked if Post-it notes could possibly have been born from a failed experiment to create a super strong glue. It's hard to believe, but this is an absolutely true fact. The story begins in 1968 at the company 3M. Dr. Spencer Silver was actually trying to develop a stronger pressure-sensitive adhesive for the aerospace industry. Instead, he accidentally created the opposite, a very peculiar low-tack adhesive made of tiny, indestructible acrylic spheres. It would stick to surfaces, but could easily be peeled off without leaving residue and could be repositioned multiple times. It was a solution without a problem, and for years, Silver promoted his unusual invention within 3M, but had little success. Then came Art Fry, another 3M scientist. Fry sang in his church choir, and he was constantly annoyed by the paper bookmarks he used falling out of his hymnal. He needed a bookmark that would stick lightly but wouldn't damage the pages. Suddenly, he remembered his colleague Dr. Silver's, quote, useless, weak adhesive. It was the perfect solution. Fry applied the adhesive to the back of small paper squares, and the Post-it note was born. It took some effort to convince management and market the product, but eventually, this invention, born from a failed adhesive, became one of the most essential office supplies worldwide. Hopefully, you have found it serendipitous that you've stumbled across this podcast. I hope you enjoyed learning about these accidental inventions. But as this is a new podcast, please help others discover the show by leaving a nice rating or review on your favorite podcast app. And tune in tomorrow for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.